The Homestead Declaration is one of my favorite documents simply because in my contract with the state, I see a huge rise on the issue of consumer debt among the elderly. It's by far the biggest problem that we deal with. And it's probably not as large a problem amongst clientele who have the resources to hire an attorney to do their estate planning documents, but it is definitely not an exclusive problem to the low-income elderly. The reason is because as we get older and we retire, our income becomes fixed, but our expenses do not. Expenses continue to rise, whether it's rent or prescription drug costs or car repair. Expenses continue to rise, but the income does not, and a lot of people turn to debt. Either they take out credit cards to pay their bills, or they fail to pay their medical bills. Either way, consumer debt is a problem, and the Homestead Declaration of Homestead is such a great, easy, inexpensive way to protect someone's home. A person's home, in the vast majority of cases, is by far their largest and most important investment financially and emotionally, but financially that they're going to make their entire lives. And what a Declaration of Homestead does is protect that home against unsecured debt up to a maximum value in the home of $250,000. It's incredibly easy to file. The form's right on the screen. The legal description has to be inserted, and then they have to file that at the clerk and recorder's office in the county where the property is. It costs $7 to file, and so I describe it really as a $250,000 insurance policy on your home permanently as long as you own that home, and it only costs $7. Now, keep in mind that it only applies to unsecured debt. It's not going to apply to a mortgage. It's not going to apply to any loan where the person has put up the property as collateral. It only applies to a person's residence. They can't have a Declaration of Homestead both here and on their winter home in Arizona. It has to be on their residence, and they're only allowed to have one legal residence. So that might be worth talking about if they have more than one place where they live. And a lot of people think it covers up to $250,000 in debt. It does not. It only covers up to $250,000 in value of the home. And by that I mean if, let's say, a credit card gets a judgment lien on a piece of property, that lien will sit on the property. The Declaration of Homestead doesn't do away with the lien, but the lien is not effective. It can't be collected from the property unless the value of that property is over $250,000. So let's say their home and the property that sits on is worth $300,000. $50,000 of that would be exposed potentially to a judgment lien for unsecured debt. But like I said, so cheap and such a great insurance policy. There's no guarantee that any of us won't run into debt problems in the future. So it's absolutely worth. Everybody who owns their home should have one. No exceptions. It's just too easy and cheap to do. The most common question that I get about homestead declarations is, does it apply to government debt? Most people that I talk to bring up Medicaid or taxes or possibly even federally guaranteed student loans. And my answer is probably not. I'll be honest, I haven't researched whether a homestead declaration specifically covers any of that. But a good disclaimer is anytime you're talking about money owed to the government, don't assume that the homestead declaration will cover you, whether it's secured debt or otherwise. Next